exciting experience. I'm having a lot of fun with it and getting to learn something new every month. And I must say, what you guys do is so incredibly hard, and I'm learning that one step at a time, one month at a time. Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. I want to show them your podcast. If you can show this on screen. So what's interesting is you started content creation. By the way, guys, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, you're a trader, you're an entrepreneur, you're a teacher, you're a truck driver. Everybody should be making content. It's for everybody. So this is your podcast called WTF is. Okay, we were just shooting an episode yesterday. Do you guys know that this guy makes you shoot for 6 hours? I didn't know this before I said yes. So until 1 a.m., we were shooting from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. to make one YouTube video. Why did you start a podcast?
So I'll give you an example of last night. Like I said, I'm learning how to make content. I went online and tried to find videos of how to do it well. There isn't really any high quality data around that available. So we thought, why not create one? And every subject that I make a podcast about is a industry that I'm considering investing in. So when I'm typically looking at a company, I'm doing some research. I do a podcast because it gives me the opportunity to talk to 3 or 4 people who are the most relevant from that community.
Okay, so today I actually don't want to talk about content creation with you. I want to talk about entrepreneurship, okay? The whole point of today's talk is why should an entrepreneur stay in India instead of immigrating to America? Because you are one of the people who made billions of dollars without venture capital money, without investors, and without going to California or Canada, like every person in India wants to go. I want to understand from you, why are you betting so much on India, and how can we keep the next Sundar Pichai in India instead of go to California?
So typically, when somebody is asked this question, you get the cliche answer of the demographic dividend, how many young people are in the country, under penetration, extrapolation of market sizes and how big they could be. Let me try and give you the non-cliche answer.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Because life is short, and I have 10 minutes.
We have 10 minutes.
Uh,
Go, go, go!
I think what India has done really well, especially in the last decade, like you guys have created content, the Indian government has created content around India and sold us so well outside of India. We know who's winning the next election then. But this marketing experiment, which has lasted a decade, if you go out in the world today, you talk to a European investor, you talk to an American investor, while they are pessimistic about their own geographies, everybody is a bit more sanguine when they're talking about India. And for that reason, I think a lot more money will come into India, continue to come into India. And yes, there is under penetration in varied sectors, even in your industry. I think content creation is going to be such a big industry in the next decade. I'm not saying this because I'm sitting here with you guys, but I don't like watching the news anymore. I don't like reading the newspaper anymore. I have to watch CNBC as a side effect of my job, but the 8 hours I watch CNBC or Bloomberg or any of these channels, I'm sitting there wishing there was something better. You know, I'm looking at these channels thinking, why is there 1 hour of somebody calling them from a tier two town asking them really lame questions about penny stocks and wasting all of our time? You know, Something
Wow. Okay.
you're not recording this. Something needs to change, and I think you guys are the answer. Journalism, in my opinion, will be this room combined in one form or another tomorrow. Uh, every corporation which delivers content to you is bound to be biased by virtue of who owns the corporation. Uh, back in the day, if you meet an old school journalist, I know a few. I'll give you an example. Take Shekhar Gupta from print, for example, right? Uh, these guys have so much passion. They feel like when they talk about journalism, they almost speak about it like they served the nation. They talk about it like being in the army almost. It was truly a calling, and with the corporation and with biases in place, I think that has gone away. And with you guys, that individuality is coming back into the world of journalism, content creation. At the end of the day, to me, if you're covering somebody's life, if you're saying somebody's story, is journalism in one form. And I think at its truest form, it will work better in the fragmented version of content creation versus corporation. And I think one could really bet on that.
Okay, so I agree with everything you say, but I'm going to play the devil's advocate. Of course, I'm very bullish in India, but let me tell you some of the numbers that are reality today. If I get 1 million views in America, and I get 1 million views in India, I make 10 times more money in America. So if I make $1,000 in America, I make $100 in India, which means if I make $100,000 in India, I will be a millionaire in America. Why wouldn't I just go to America?
To you personally, Nas, $100,000 earned in India versus $1 million earned in America, uh, bro to bro advice, your life would be so much better in India with $100,000.
That is a good answer. Okay. Maybe I should. So,
Okay, outside of that,
other than that,
I feel like purchasing power parity aside, money is different, right? Money is transient. Money is what things you can buy from money and what lifestyle it can afford you. If you look at data historically, countries which cross that $5,000, $6,000 GDP per capita is when consumption really goes up. Sure, India might not be shopping online in the manner that America might be today, but I'll tell you this about me. I was on Instagram.
okay, so India is at 2.2 right now.
Yeah, so I think at $5,000, things will start to change. But even take me for example, I had never ever bought anything on Instagram. I did it for the first time 3 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, and
What did you buy?
I found this brand called 1111. No affiliation, not an investor, nothing like that.
Not yet.
People think I'm always selling something I'm not.
11,
So I
11.
bought a T-shirt from 1111.
Nice. Looks like a nice brand. Okay.
Now I wish I had invested though.
Okay.
Can I change that? Can I give you another brand?
Yeah, rewind the camera. Okay, so you for the first time in your life, you bought something on Instagram. So what does that mean?
That means when I am changing, more people will change. More people will buy stuff while they're watching videos of creators in India. Uh, I think from a cultural lens, India is most like China. And if you look at how much shopping is happening on streaming, how much e-commerce is shifting to content creators in a manner, I think we will follow them more than we will follow the West. And I think it's a huge opportunity. I will shop more on Instagram. More people like us here will shop on Instagram. And the amount of money you make per viewer in India will go up when our shopping patterns change.
Okay, let's say I want to build a really big company, okay? if I look at the list of the world's 100 biggest companies, okay, where do you think they are based at? Okay, they're all for some. So I'm like you. I'm based in Singapore and Dubai, and I'm like you, and I'm like, okay, I want to be based in India, but then I look at all these companies, okay, top 100 companies in the world, all of them are based in America, and probably have an Indian CEO. So, is there a limit to how big you can grow in India?
So IP creation, intellectual property, to a large extent gets created in America. Uh, there are many reasons for this. I was in America recently and I was talking to a bunch of really smart people. I'll give you an example. I was at a dinner with Sam Altman and I was asking him, there are many issues in America, the housing crisis.
That's guy, okay? OpenAI. Just in case somebody doesn't know.
I think everybody knows him now.
You want to bet somebody here didn't know who Sam Altman is?
Did anybody not know who Sam Altman is?
There we go, my people!
This is a problem. We need to change this. Yeah, but when I was talking to him, I asked him what is working for America. Why is so much innovation? So I can be critical about America because I'm patriotic and I can say good India, bad America 100 times over. I think America as a country is very homogeneous. Everybody's the same, everybody thinks the same. You take away 4 or 5 cities where it's a bit more esoteric in nature and you find different people from outside who have come by. Otherwise, America is largely homogeneous. To a culture like that, one really has to wonder why so much innovation is happening there. So when I asked Sam, he said, from the very beginning, when you're a kid in America and you're rebellious and you question the status quo in a manner, uh, it is not hindered. That process of being rebellious is really appreciated in America. Uh, this has to change for us here in India. I think uh, not everywhere, but in many places, we have gotten to a point where discourse, even between a student and a teacher, is discouraged. You're not really ever allowed to question. You're told A, B, C, D, E is the pattern that one needs to follow. And all of us do it. I know that about myself. When I was a kid, going to school in Bangalore, I went to a school in JP Nagar. I don't know how many of you are from here, and I don't know how many of you speak Kannada, nice. Yeah, so me in school was a petrified little child who was scared to question anything I was told. And so many of us in India are like that, right? Like, I know things have changed now and you can't beat kids and all that, but when I was in school,
You want to beat kids?
it was a completely different ecosystem 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So that needs to change. India needs to encourage discourse in schools, in offices. I can extrapolate and go to a bunch of other places, but let me not. Uh, that needs to change. And outside of that, I think another big problem with IP creation, out of our GDP, India allocates something like 0.5% to research.
Wow.
And America does about 3 to 4%. And America's GDP is 10 times India's GDP. So if you put in 50 times more money towards creating IP and research, compare it to somebody who is allocating 1/50th, you are bound to have more IP creation in that country. I think you guys are actually the exception, Israel. I don't know how in such a small country have you innovated in the manner that you have.
This needs another 1 hour discussion, and we'll do it on your podcast. But speaking of investments and giving back and research, I want to end this by really just Googling something called Nikhil Kamat, the Giving Pledge, which I thought was really interesting. You signed the Giving Pledge, okay? and you become the youngest Indian to join the giving pledge, which means you're gonna give away all your money or majority of your money to charity. First of all, yes. Bro, it's so hard to make money. Just keep it. Why are you giving it away? Your grandkids are going to be so pissed.
I don't have kids.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So why did you do it? And give us final thoughts.
Sure. So there are 4 people in India who have signed the Giving Pledge. The other 3 happen to be really good friends of mine. And Bangaloreans will resonate with this. All of them are from Bangalore. Kiran, Nandan, Premji.
So Mumbai is not generous?
All of you. Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Calcutta, every city is 0. Bangalore has 4.
Wow.
And all 4 of us are friends. Me and Kiran, in fact, live in the same apartment. We all tend to meet once in a month. We do dinner or we do something social or we travel together. Actually, all 4 of us were together in Goa last weekend. I think, when you're growing up, you're looking around you. We're all very mimetic as human beings, right? Like, you don't know what you want. In the societal construct around you, you pick 3 or 4 people, somebody who's more popular, somebody who has more money. You do it from when you're a kid. And subconsciously, you want to be like that person.
Yes.
By virtue of being here in Bangalore, by virtue of being around these guys very organically, I think you realize the importance of everybody should know the concept of mortality. We're all so scared of thinking about it that we never speak about it. But when you hang out with people who are 70, 75, 80, and people like Kiran, Nandan, etc., this hits hard, and this hits hard very early in life. Everybody has a clock, and you're working backwards. I'm 37. Yeah, like...
It's right here, my friend. This is the clock.
Yeah, so me at 37, if the average life for an Indian is 72 years old, I have 35 years left. There is no value to leaving money with HDFC Bank or ICICI
Bad
Bank.
news. Yeah, it's 70. You said 70? Yeah, it's 70.1. Right.
So I would rather give it to things I believe in than leave the money I've earned over the last 20 years and whatever I might earn in the next 20 to a bank or an institution like that. Because if you don't have kids and you know you're going to die in 35 years, you'd rather make the most of it.
Wow. Thank you for doing that. Big round of applause. That's Nikhil Kamat, my friends. Thank you for coming. Okay, now let's take a selfie. Let's take a selfie. Guys, we have, Matt, what do we have now?
Well, now, thank you very much, guys. By the way, Nasai, are you going to join the Wealth Fund?
The giving fund? The giving pledge?
Yeah, the giving pledge.
I don't have enough to give.
I'll be the first one to go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is what's happening now. If you want to find out about Dot Store and their program of teaching about content creation, they are at the NAS Academy store. They're at the NAS store outside, Harsha from Dot Store. So if you want to find out about that, go there. The funds, they have a fund and the teaching. But what is actually now?
Now it's time for lunch.
It's lunchtime!
Yay!
After the break, we have a debate, Bollywood v content creation, and lots more speakers. Guys, see you in 1 hour.
Make sure you're back in time because we have some really cool prizes.